Now I'm like, where do I put my hands?
Yeah, we had a whole discussion about me pretty much like not doing well with this setup because I don't like people being able to pay attention to like my body. So I just wanted a table. Like I don't know, like a table that we sit at because I feel like then I can hide. And Anna's like, I don't like that. But now she's like, I don't know what to do with my hands because I was talking about Ricky Bobby. That's how I feel like. And if you don't know that reference, I can't help you.
Just start raising your hands. I just actually watched, I don't think did I watch the whole thing? I think I watched the majority of that movie the other night because I had nothing else to watch. And
those are
I was
good
like,
for that.
Talladega Nights. Okay, I'll just put it on while I'm scrolling through like Twitter because I've seen it before. And it's like so quotable. I forgot how quotable that movie is.
It really is.
Help me, Tom Cruise. It's so dumb.
What does he say? Shut up, Grandpa Chip, or whatever the fuck he says. We threw Grandpa Chip's war medals in the river. I feel like those little boys give the same energy as in Mean Girls when they go, and on the seventh day, God made the Remington rifle, or whatever he says, to fight the homosexuals.
When
in Mean Girls, when they're talking about it's like the hick kids. It's like a quick insert.
Oh, when they're going around the cafeteria or whatever. Is that
no?
Or
it's a no, homeschooled kids. She's talking about. I'm not weird like other homeschooled kids, but it's her internal monologue.
Oh, okay. I was like, I know that quote.
Yeah.
Like it's ringing a bell, but I was like, what is the context of it in that movie?
Wait, what's happening?
For real. Okay. And we're live.
There you go. Do you feel better?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good.
I had to. That's part of it. We've been doing that. I've been doing that since day one. So
yeah, there was a few episodes ago where it was like you didn't say it. It threw me off. Then I said it. Then you were like, "Wow, you took it from me," and I was like, "I don't." That might have actually. I bet that's the one that's not going up. Another one.
So you guys listen.
And another one. Oh, I didn't say. How do you say like DJ Khaled? Khaled?
Another one.
There you go. God did. Sorry. No one believed in us. God did. Anyway.
So you may have noticed we've been on a little bit of a hiatus, unannounced, unplanned. We did have 2 episodes recorded before today. One of them you won't see.
No, it wasn't.
The other one will have come out before this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a little bit of an unplanned hiatus. We were not planning to take a break.
No.
But then life happened. Some things unexpectedly evolved that required some attention.
We're going to be super mysterious and we're not going to tell you what they are. None of your business.
But one of them was on Jessica's end where she had some things come up.
Excuse me? Why did you say that? It was supposed to be mysterious.
Because the other thing is not mysterious. The other thing is on my end.
Oh, yeah.
My cat ate my MacBook.
The whole my dog ate my homework thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's her cat.
Yeah. So, and it was very expensive to replace and to fix it.
We put him down.
No.
I'm kidding. No.
I was so mad at him. Okay. So I was home on it was probably like Friday or Saturday.
Let's be honest. It's every night.
Well, yes.
Me too, though.
I don't go anywhere.
Me too.
But I was sitting at my dining room table. I have a MacBook up. I was watching Crazy Rich Asians, as one does. I was eating my pizza rolls for dinner.
I thought we discussed that we were done with that.
Eating pizza rolls?
I thought they were bad for, like, I thought you got like acid reflux or something from it.
You know, I thought I did, but I don't think that was it.
Oh, well, good. That's nice.
Yeah.
Now you can enjoy pizza rolls again.
Yes.
Well, I'm not the friend that bullies you into what you can and can't eat, by the way. Like, I'm not that friend. It was just, I thought they were like, actually.
I thought we decided you weren't eating those anymore.
I thought we decided you weren't going to do that.
And now you've done it.
That came across. That's not how I meant it. Her grandparents think I bully her. And now I'm sitting here going, I thought we decided you couldn't eat that. It was for health reasons. I thought it gave you acid reflux.
So anywho, I'm watching Crazy Rich Asians, eating my pizza rolls, and then Salem, one of my 2 cats.
You're welcome.
Thanks for that. He is the sweetest thing. He's so lovable, so affectionate.
Explaining that, by the way, I gave her Salem.
Yes.
That's why I said you're welcome.
He is very intelligent, like, and when you look at him, and I said this, and everyone I've said it to has agreed. that when you look at Salem, you're like, oh, you're a human that got turned into a cat.
100%. And like 100. Yeah,
Yes.
he was human.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what he did or how he became a cat, but he was human.
Yes.
If not, at least in this life, at some point, I think was magically turned into a cat. At least his last one.
So Salem, my very intelligent human turned into a cat. He frequently likes to lay behind my laptop when I'm working on it. Like he'll lay on my table, and don't worry, I like sanitize my table and stuff before I eat at it. Like I'm not a barbarian.
You're not, despite the Neanderthal DNA.
Yeah,
you're not a Neanderthal.
And so he likes to lay behind it. 1, because he likes to be near me, and then 2, because it's warm back there, because that's kind of where the hot air disperses. So he usually just chills out back there when I'm working. It's fine. So I didn't think anything of it. So I'm most of the way through Crazy Rich Asians. I'm completely looking at what I'm doing or what I'm watching. I'm most of the way through Crazy Rich Asians. And I all of a sudden my screen starts to flicker. It's like flicker out, like completely dark. And I was like, what? And then I look up, and then Salem has his mouth on the corner of my screen. Like I'm looking at my laptop. It's my top left corner looking at it. And I see like 2 or 3 little like tooth indents. He had started to like rub his cheeks, I guess, on the corner, because cats do that with like boxes and books and like furniture and stuff. They rub their cheeks on the corner, and then they'll start to like gnaw on it and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what he has started to do to my laptop. And it was like literally he just went crack, 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 like nibble, done. And it was the teeniest, tiniest little crack. Like I'm talking, if you took your pinky, dipped it in ink, and like pressed it against a piece of paper, that's how small the crack was. Yeah. Entire screen was dark.
Yeah, you sent me the picture, and you were like, Salem broke my laptop. And I was like, what?
Yes. So my cat ate my laptop. My cat ate my MacBook. And so I was immediately like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because I'm still paying it off because it was expensive. And so I can't just like sell it and buy a new one, right? So
it's like the attack that I talked about with my car, but like not as expensive, but very expensive.
Yeah. And I didn't have Apple Care, and it was past the window where I could have retroactively like gotten it. And so had I known it was going to be this expensive to fix it, I would have definitely gotten Apple Care. So I encourage anyone, if you buy a MacBook or, anything super expensive from Apple,
honestly, any Apple product, because I've used the Apple Care thing for the AirPods like at least twice. Like at least twice on 2 separate AirPods I've used them, and then you get a whole new one, and so it's definitely worth doing.
So does Apple Care, it applies to all Apple products that you buy or have during that period?
You have to get Apple Care on each individual product.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's expensive. But I mean, you're already shelling out a good bit of money for some of these things.
Yeah,
so.
At that point, you're like, what the fuck?
So, yeah, I had to get it replaced. But the problem is that we have some local repair shops here for like laptops, phones, stuff like that. And they can fix screens. But because it is the newest MacBook Pro, they could not do it because you have to replace it with certified like the Apple display. You can't just use like standard like other brand like products to replace it. So they're like, yeah, we can't fix this. So I had to go through Apple.
We can't help you. You can try Sears.
Yeah. I had to go through Apple, and they were like, well, there are 2 Apple certified technicians near you being in Gainesville, Florida, which is really about an hour and 45 minutes from here for driving. So I had to drive down there, drop it off, left it there for about a week. They actually had it. I dropped it off on a Tuesday. Was it a Tuesday? No, it was a Monday. I think I took it up on a Monday. No, it was a Tuesday. I dropped it off on a Tuesday. And then they came and picked it up, or they had it basically done by that Friday, afternoon, because they had to order like the Apple parts and stuff like that. So, and then I was able to pick it up the following Monday, which was great turnaround time. Like they did a good job, and the guy was super nice that I dealt with, and they got it fixed real fast. But it was over $1,000 to replace my screen.
That's like 1/3 of the laptop.
Yeah. Oh, it's almost half. My MacBook was about $2,300-$2,400. So almost half of the cost of the MacBook was replacing the display. And I'm assuming
I was trying to figure out, I was like, why did I spend more money? But I got Apple Care, and I bet you with taxes and all, that's why I spent just a little.
Yeah. So I think majority of the cost was actually the part. It wasn't the labor. I'm pretty sure the majority of the cost is probably like a good $600, $700, $800 of it was the display.
Mhm.
And before taxes, it was like 9 something. And then after taxes, it was 10 over
Yeah.
1,000.
God damn.
Yeah. So, and I mean, it makes sense that it's that expensive, that it's about almost half the cost of the laptop is the display, because it is a like Retina, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
It's a special display as well.
That
so.
like, that is really good for like video and stuff. So it's great watching, Crazy Rich Asians on, but not when your cat then bites it. And then it's such a specialty part that it's really expensive to replace. So definitely encourage everyone to get AppleCare. Because it would have saved me, I would have paid probably a third of what I did.
Mhm.
And if you include the AppleCare, the cost of the AppleCare itself, and then the amount I would have paid to get it fixed, it probably would have came out to between a third and a half of what the actual price that I ended up paying. So
that's why we've been on hiatus, and I moved out. Well, we got a house, so that was the end of the story.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly, pretty much was just like, here it is, and we're like, oh,
it just came available, and you had to kind of move quickly.
It was very, very quick, and that just was very overwhelming.
Yeah,
long overdue, very overwhelming, but it's been a thing, and it's smoother now.
Good.
So now we're here.
Yeah, we are. So there was one other thing I want to mention before we get into our main topics for today, and it was that the other night, it was earlier this week, I woke up in the morning, and I guess at some point my mouth had fallen open while I was sleeping. So I woke up.
You ate a spider?
No, I woke up. I think I had ended up, I'm not a back sleeper, but I had ended up on my back, and my mouth was open, but I had the heat going in my house and also my fan in my room. And so my mouth was completely dried out to the point when I woke up, I couldn't swallow because there was no, everything was dried out. There was no moisture in my mouth. I felt like I went into a momentary panic because it was the equivalent of I can't breathe, but it was I can't swallow. I'm when you pour salt on a slug.
It's okay.
That was me.
That's how I felt with that first edible I told you about. I completely dry, couldn't breathe. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Felt like I didn't even know how to swallow. It was, yeah.
So that was a very scary moment for me where I just kind of felt like a slug that had gotten salted out and dried. And then, then I closed my mouth. And then after a minute, the saliva came back, and then
you were like, wait, what did I?
Yeah, I just kind of closed it, and then it fixed all my problems. So the moral of the story is, if you close your mouth, it fixes a lot of problems.
Be quiet.
That's not what it
says. Close it. Not you, other people.
You said it.
I said it.
You said it.
A lot of people should be quiet, not us.
So we'll get into our main topics today. Hold on.
So guys, I know that this is going to be really hard on everybody, and I know everyone's taking it differently. It's really sad about Panic at the Disco breaking up. Guys, you mean Brendan Urie's just going to be called Brendan Urie now?
I think he's just taking a break from making music.
I don't know.
Well, because he said when he announced that Panic at the Disco was breaking up, the original Panic at the Disco that made I Write Sins Not Tragedies, they have been dead and gone as a group for a very long time.
Yeah, it's just him.
Yeah, so it's been him with, I'm assuming, various other people in the band
that come and go,
that play the instruments and stuff. But Panic at the Disco is Brendan Urie with various supporting.
Yeah, that's why everyone's
artists.
The fuck are you talking about? You've been broken up. You just released music under Panic at the Disco, but it's just you. Which, I mean, he might take a break from music, and I assume when
he said he was having a child. Him and his wife are having a baby.
Yeah.
And so he's I want to, I'm focusing on kind of this next chapter of my life of being a father and focusing on my family and stuff. So that's what I assume he was saying. I'm taking a break from a step back from making music so he can focus on doing that.
I assume too. I mean, I assume he'll come back eventually. And I assume he'll just be under Brendan Urie. I mean, at this point, enough people know your name, so we wouldn't be like, who the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he, I would think that if he's making music in the same sort of genre, even though he's in a bunch of different genres under Panic at the Disco, if he's making something in that same vein, it would make sense to do it under Panic. But if he's making something completely different, that's a completely different departure from that, then it would make sense to do Brendan Urie. There's other artists that do that, right? That I can't think of any right off the top of my head, but I feel like there have been artists that will make music as part of a group or something.
Hayley Williams left Paramore, or when Paramore wasn't doing much, and then she did her own thing, and then Paramore's now back.
Oh, they
And then Fall Out Boy came out with a new song recently.
Pentatonics, the a cappella group, they do a lot of like Christmas music and stuff, and they go on tour. They've been like fairly successful. They've won like Grammys and stuff.
They're like Glee. They're like real life Glee.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, they have like a beatboxer and they do the whole a cappella thing. They've put out albums as Pentatonics where it's like original music, but then they'll do like covers and like Christmas albums and stuff. But then other members will split off and do like solo music, released under their own names. But then two of them, Mitch and Scott, Grassi, and Scott Hoying will do music together as Superfruit is the name of their like duo. And their music is like pretty, it's like a little bit of a bop. It's kind of like, it feels like poppy, like
a little bit of a bop,
poppy, funky, like retro kind of deal. It's good. But yeah, so like the point of that being like some groups do release different sort of genres or projects.
I mean,
under
Jonas has DNCE, which I love DNCE. I like them more than Jonas Brothers.
Very underrated for a group, and that one album that they put out, very underrated.
It really is.
Cake by the Ocean was like a fine song. I didn't love it.
I love every song on that album. Like, I mean, Cake by the Ocean is on that album, but like that was their big hit.
It's not my favorite on the album.
No.
It's like the single that they put out, but I'm like, there's so much.
My favorite on that album is Naked. That song gets me like.
I like Truthfully. That's my favorite.
It's a slow song.
I love it.
What's your favorite? But but.
I mean, I guess I like, is it Dance?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that one.
Is Dance on that album, or is the song DNCE? Because they have a song DNCE.
It's called Dance, though, I think. Hold on. I gotta look it up now.
Because he goes, Ayo, what about the A or whatever? They did, but they later on, they have a song called Dance, though, but it's not on that album. Because I think that song's DNCE. Hey, man, you forgot the A. That's how it goes. I think that one's just DNCE, but they have a song later on that's called Dance. But it's not. It's like a single.
Maybe it is DNCE.
Yeah.
But I just call it Dance.
Yeah.
Anywho, I like that one.
Yeah, I like that one too. I love that album. But anyway, yeah, that's another example of somebody who kind of does.
But did you pay my rent? I had to look at the track list to be like, today is gonna be a good day.
That's good.
It's just a good album. Body Moves, Doctor Who. Or Doctor You, not Doctor Who. Doctor You. Sorry.
Yeah, I love all of it. And then there you have that new single that had come out, "Make You Move" or whatever. I like that. Like it's just they're just fun. Like they're really really fun. I need more music from them.
I need them to revive. Is that what it's called? Revive, resurrect.
Well, no, they're still making music. They had they just had singles come out like a few months ago.
I'm talking about album.
I need an album though, for sure. I need an album. I need him. I'm like, quit touring the Jonas Brothers. Like, quit. I need you to stop doing that. We're happy. I love the Jonas Brothers album too. I love them. But
that album was good.
It was.
I enjoyed it, and it was very like sonically cohesive. The album, because I was like, a lot of the songs I would be like, oh, this sounds not the same, but it sounds similar to each other.
Yeah,
but in like a good way, not in like a repetitive way.
I like when they came back, everyone was like, I love Kevin now.
No, you don't. Don't lie.
I was like, I like Kevin. But I was always, I wasn't a Jonas Brothers girl, though. I wasn't like when they were like originally a thing, I wasn't obsessed. But I also, I did prefer Joe out of them at the time when I was younger.
So, segue.
Away from the Jonas Brothers.
Abrupt. Left turn. So I wanted to give a couple of updates on some topics that we talked about last year, not just like in the past couple months. I mean, literally like a year ago. I think it was toward the end of 2021, right when we were starting our podcast. It was one of our first couple episodes. The Alec Baldwin Rust shooting situation had happened, and you can go listen to the what camera am I looking at? You can go listen to that whole episode if you would like to. But so we talked about that. So there's been an update. So recently, Alec Baldwin, I guess they concluded their investigation, and they have decided to charge Alec Baldwin. He's been charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter for the death of Helena Hutchins, who was the cinematographer who ended up getting shot.
I think they're also charging the armorer, Hannah, something. I thought I saw charges against her too.
So I'll just read this from Fox News. This article from Fox News. Midway through, it says armorer Hannah Gutierrez Reed and assistant director Dave Halls were the only other crew members besides Alec Baldwin believed to have handled the gun that fired on set. Halls allegedly handed Baldwin a .45 revolver, telling him it was cold or safe. Prior to that, Gutierrez Reed spun the cylinder to show Halls that what was in the gun, her lawyer has said. Despite the charges carrying up to 18 months in prison or a mandatory 5 years if convicted with a firearm enhancement, Baldwin might not see prison. And then I guess the article goes more into that. I don't see if they've mentioned who else they've charged in this article.
Yeah, I saw that. And I have a few different thoughts on it. I still kind of stand by what I said the first time, which was I don't think he did anything wrong actor-wise. I know that there were concerns for safety previous to that, like her getting shot. So there were other safety concerns supposedly on set. And so as a producer, I understand, like, you know, maybe you have a certain level of responsibility to really check into those things. I also understand, too, there are different producers for different aspects of the film. So I just think that a lot of people, I think they're misinformed in what exactly, like we've discussed this before, the difference between a blank and a dummy. Blanks, you can 100% see that it's not a bullet. Dummies look just like bullets. That's what they're supposed to look like.
Well, I think...
And so I don't understand the idea that what people keep talking about, well, you need to take a class, you need to do this, you need to do that, and all of those things are right, and all of those things, from my understanding, were done. But at the same time, you're not going to be able to really look at a dummy round and a live round and know what the difference is. They look the same, especially because of the kind of gun he had. Like they just said they spun the cylinder. That's why a dummy was used, because you can see it. That style gun, you can see that it's a prop. And so it's one of those things that, like, I agree that why did you even need to have a gun that has a mechanism? At the same time, though, because it's a prop gun, because of the type of gun it is, that's why the mechanism needs to be there. Otherwise, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the argument at this point is like, so I think he said he didn't ever pull the trigger, but they, I think, have been able to show, or they are going to try to prove that he did pull the trigger. But then the argument becomes, what is more relevant in proving that he's guilty of something?
Yeah.
Is it the fact that he pulled the trigger, or is it the fact that he was acting reasonably under the knowledge that he was given at the time, which he was told it was a cold gun by the people who were supposed to be handling that, right? So as an actor on a set of a movie, when the armor or the assistant armor or whoever's supposed to be handling this tells you something, you take that information for what it is.
Yeah. Like
it's not your position to second guess or whatever. Like, you are doing this with the understanding that they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Like, you're not supposed to question the person that's supposed to have the most information on set. Like,
that's their job. That is not your job.
You think as an actor, you're going to be better trained to know that gun is cold or not. Yes, there are classes you're supposed to take, but it's extremely ignorant to think that you need to be questioning every single person on set.
No, because that's
ridiculous.
Time. And that's not, So basically it's going to fall to, is he culpable for pulling the trigger? Is that something that he would have reasonably been expected to do in that moment with the knowledge that he had?
Yeah.
And is he at fault? Was he ever supposed to touch the trigger or pull the trigger at all? Like, in that scenario, like with the knowledge that he had at the time. So that's kind of what the case is going to boil down to.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how that plays out. But I wanted to give a quick update on that. And then
people are very just annoying me with this, because I'm like, I'm not even like a huge Alec Baldwin fan. I just don't see where he really did anything wrong. Because the only thing that on his part that I think is annoying is, I'm like, why did you even say you didn't pull the trigger? Because even if you did,
now you've lied.
Because now you've more than likely lied. And if you did pull the trigger, which let's be honest, like, you had to have, at least unless they can prove that something happened with the gun. But that being said, you didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
By pulling the trigger. Because if the scene is, it's proven that in the scene it was, from what he had said when he did that interview or whatever, that was what it was called for, because it was basically the shot was him supposed to be shooting in the camera, from what my understanding when he was talking about it was. That's what you were supposed to do. So why even bother to lie and say you didn't? Like, it's just dumb. That part's stupid. But people acting like, well, you need to check the gun. They look the same, stupid. They're not blanks. They were dummy rounds.
Yeah, I mean, which you can go listen. We did a whole episode on that.
That's the part that's so fucking annoying is I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, people are just misinformed, and you can go listen to our whole episode on Alec Baldwin and the rush shooting.
You can.
So the other update I wanted to give on a topic we talked about last year was, if you'll recall, we wanted to let the green M&M be a slut.
That's right.
And they took that away from us, and we're very upset about it. So if you don't recall, the M&Ms characters, little like candy M&Ms, they got a little image revamp. They kind of like updated them, did a few minor modifications. I don't think M&Ms even put out any sort of like press release, or they didn't really even acknowledge it. It just happened, and then somebody picked it up and ran with it and made it this whole big thing about how they're taking away the green M&Ms boots and giving her high heel boots and giving her sneakers. They made her eyelashes shorter. Again, we talked about it in the episode, and our thoughts on that. So you can go listen to that one too. It's called "Let the Green M&M Be a Slut."
Yep.
But so basically, I guess people are still like talking about it, especially like right wing, I guess, or conservative like pundits in the news saying that they're apparently the take is now that they're making the green M&M more like gender non-conforming by taking away her high heel boots and giving her sneakers. They're making her like less feminine, which again, we talked about in our previous episode where high heeled boots don't equal femininity. I can be a woman and be feminine and wear sneakers.
Yeah.
So basically it was like this whole thing about like it's woke craziness that they're trying to make the green M&M gender non-conforming and less sexy and let the green M&M be sexy. And then they recently came out, I think, with another M&M character. It's a woman. I don't know what color she is.
Why do we need a new M&M?
She's a purple M&M, but she's a peanut M&M, which I'm pretty sure the yellow M&M is a peanut M&M too. But so the purple M&M is a woman peanut M&M. But they're saying M&Ms have come out with a new character mascot who is obese, and they're glorifying obesity. And I'm just like, think she's just a peanut M&M. I don't think that's what it is.
What does she look like?
That's her.
Obese. She looks just like the other. They all look the same.
She's a little more.
She's just a little oval.
Yeah. So they're saying she's an obese M&M.
Who's saying that? Right-wing people or woke people?
No, Tucker Carlson. Fox host Tucker Carlson railed against woke M&Ms in a recent broadcast.
Doesn't he have anything more important to talk about?
So anywho, because of that, which is completely hilarious to me, like, just pause from the M&Ms discussion. There are so many bigger issues in the world for us to talk about and discuss, and for like a pundit on TV to like rail against whatever side that you're on. Like, why are you picking M&M's mascot candies to be like, this is going to be my topic of choice and jumping off point to talk about the war on like femininity and gender and whatever in America?
I don't need Tucker Carlson talking about the war on femininity ever.
Yeah.
Like, ever.
I'm just like,
also, can we let like The View or the gossipy talk shows talk about the M&Ms, and can the news people talk about like important things?
But is Tucker Carlson a news person?
They're supposed to be. Supposed to. This is why people are sick of it.
Are we really viewing him as a trustworthy news source that's unbiased, or as a talking figurehead who's entertainment? Because let's not conflate the two, people. News that is unbiased and actually functions as news is different from a show that is geared toward headlines, clicks, views, generating ratings so that they can sell more ads. Two different things. There's two different concepts, two different shows. And I do not think anyone is under the impression that Tucker Carlson is a news source show.
Some people are.
If they are, God bless.
Some people are.
Bless your
some
heart.
People, at this point, Fox News, ew, CNN, ew, everything's ew. They're all ew.
I actually follow a news outlet, I guess, on Twitter, or not on Twitter, on Instagram, called Roca, ROCA, and their thing is called like Ride the News. So they actually do these like daily like snapshots of the major news talking points, like the headlines kind of, and they do it on these like, they do like an Instagram carousel. And so they usually pick 4 main topics, and then they kind of do like they do the headline and then a deeper dive with more information, like bullet points. But literally, it's just the information you need to know about what's happening. And so like I find that and that's their whole concept. They're like, we want to give you the information in a way that's like easy to digest, but not biased and not for the whole like the media frenzy, like pitting two sides at war or whatever it is. Like this is literally just to keep you informed in a way that's easy to understand.
Yeah.
And I actually really like it because they do that once a day, and then they do like a deep dive a couple times a week where they pick one topic and they'll really go in and give you more detail. And it could be like something super random.
Yeah.
But I just found that really interesting. And I like the way that they like, I like the way they go about giving information.
Yeah.
That's not this whole like stupid, biased, like I'm gonna argue my point into the dirt and I'm speaking in an echo chamber sort of way.
Exactly. Like, bye.
But anywho, if anybody wants to follow them, it's Roca, ROCA. And I think their handle is at Ride the News. Because it's like a wave. Anywho.
Feel free to sponsor the show sometime.
Hey. I think they've launched an app too. I haven't used the app, but I just follow them on Instagram. So because of this whole like recent rehashing of the M&ms character backlash, that M&ms have decided, they put out this press release or statement, and it says, "America, let's talk. In the last year, we've made some changes to our beloved spokes candies." I love their spokes candies. We weren't sure if anyone would even notice, and we definitely didn't think it would break the internet. But now we get it. Even a candy's shoes can be polarizing, which was the last thing M&ms wanted, since we're all about bringing people together. Therefore, we have decided to take an indefinite pause from the spokes candies. In their place, we are proud to introduce a spokesperson America can agree on, the beloved Maya Rudolph. We are confident Ms. Rudolph will champion the power of fun to create a world where everyone feels they belong. So, but
why do they have to rip my childhood from me?
Well, a lot of people were very quick to point out it sounds like they're setting something up for Super Bowl commercial.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, and so then,
oh my God, that would be kind of fun.
And then Maya Rudolph told Today.com that she is thrilled to represent the brand in a Super Bowl ad on February 12th. Yeah,
but like, can we? That's fine, but I want my candies.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's reminiscent of the Mr. Peanut. Do you remember that?
No,
Mr. Peanut with the didn't he have
the monocle.
The monocle,
right?
Yeah, I'm like, he had a monocle, right? The Peanuts brand put out a thing like before the Super Bowl saying that like they were kind of like revamping their brand and stuff, and it was like the death of Mr. Peanut, and they were saying goodbye to him, and they actually like killed him off. And then like they put out like a thing where he was like in a car crash or something, and he died.
What?
I think that's what happened. Yeah, and so then Mr. Peanut died, and so then the Super Bowl commercial was like he died, and then a new baby Mr. Peanut was born. And so basically it's just like they took the old character and just did it as like a new kind of like style of cartoon character or whatever. But it was a cute little like commercial, but people were concerned because people didn't quite get like that they were setting up a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
But now I feel like that's pretty common now. That happened a couple years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, don't get rid of our candies.
Yeah.
I like our candies.
The classic M&M's ad, the Christmas ad when Santa comes in the house and he's like, they are real or something, and they're like, he is real.
Yeah,
he does exist. They do exist.
Yeah, and then like the when you go see a movie.
Yeah, I love it. Peanut M&Ms are my candy of choice for movie watching.
I like M&Ms, and I like the little characters.
Which, speaking of movie watching, I recently went with my sister last week, I think, to go see Megan, the robot doll movie.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the like trailers or anything?
I saw her crawl once, and I was good.
It's not, I will say this, it's not like a typical, like to me, like it's not a horror movie. It's definitely not horror. It's not even really slasher. I'd say it's closer to like a thriller. It's like, it's a little suspenseful in certain parts. There's a couple of jump scares. It's a little more, it's more like creepy, I guess, in the way that like iRobot, that movie was kind of creepy in certain parts. And you're like, I don't, it's kind of in that similar sort of vein.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was definitely an interesting movie, interesting concept. Definitely sparked some good conversation about like that whole the AI, where AI is going and that sort of thing. But there were some parts of it was just like bizarre.
You're like,
it's very like campy in certain regards. Like it kind of understands, I guess, that it's ridiculous in some parts of it, and it kind of goes with it. So there was something that I realized like 2 weeks ago that I didn't know, or like I just never put it together. And then when I did, I felt really dumb.
Oh. Well.
So, you know how there's like there might be like a story or like certain things about why certain companies chose their name or like their logo. So like for an example, like Amazon, their logo has that little arrow, goes from left to right, that's kind of shaped like a smile underneath. And it points, I don't know if people know this, it points from the A in Amazon and the arrow ends on the Z. And that's because originally Amazon was called A to Z Books. It started off as like an online bookseller. And it's called A to Z Books. And that's where the little arrow, it's like a nod to that history going from A to Z. So like that's a story behind that. So, or like reasoning as to why the logo looks that way. So Netflix, the name Netflix, I don't know what I heard or what someone said, but then I just started to put it together. So net and flicks, two parts of the name. Net, short for internet. Flicks, like a chick flick, is short for like movies. So literally, the name Netflix means internet movies.
Yeah, but Netflix used to not be that. Netflix used to be where you got your stuff in the mail.
But you still ordered it online.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you always ordered it online. I used to order my anime online. It was really weird. You get it in the mail. That makes me feel old.
Yeah. It's like you would rent movies and DVDs, but instead of going to like a physical movie rental store, you would just order it online and they would ship it, you'd ship it back and whatever. But yeah, like I don't know why. It just never occurred to me. I just never thought about it. But then I had this moment of realization.
You had an epiphany.
I had an epiphany where it's Netflix is literally internet flicks, internet movies. Yeah. So I felt that was really important to share with all of you.
In case you didn't know.
Yeah.
That's what it's for.
So the other thing, there's so many topics to cover today. So many. Because we haven't really talked or seen each other in a while.
I know. Pretty much just exiled you from my life. And then I was like, save it for the podcast. Eventually one day.
So the other thing I want to talk about. So have you heard about this? There was a romance author who came back to life.
Excuse me?
Yeah. So there was this really popular romance author. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but I remember the story because people were talking about it. So a really popular romance author a couple years ago, she had, put out some books that did really well. She had a community of like people who read her stuff that were fans and other authors and stuff like that knew her. And apparently she had something happen where I think she was having basically like a lot of like mental health issues and like the strain of trying to like keep up with the demands of the publishing world and just being involved in writing and all that stuff. So she and her husband decided it would be time for her to like take a break and a step back from that because it'd be good for her mental health. And so they decided to fake her death.
Iconic.
And so then they put out some sort of statement or whatever saying that she had died. And then I think they put up a GoFundMe to help pay for like her funeral costs and stuff like that.
Oh, that's sketchy.
Yeah. And so then, and people donated and stuff like that. And so then like 2 years later, she comes back on like Twitter and it's like, hey guys, no, you haven't heard from me in a while. I bet you're surprised to hear from me, but like I'm doing good and I'm working on some projects. I'm really excited to put some stuff out. And people are like, time out. What the fuck? And so, yeah, they were like, we thought you died. Like, so literally not even just like fans and authors, but people that were like friends of hers, like author friends that thought that she'd actually passed away and had like grieved her death. And
that is iconic though.
And she like,
but not the GoFundMe part.
Yeah, but she had faked her death. And so people were really critical of it. And she was like, listen, things were going on. I did what I had to do to prioritize my mental health. And they're like, yeah, but do you know how many other people you like negatively impacted their mental health? Because like you pretended to be dead. Like that's not cool.
But look how happy you are now that she's like, imagine that, such a low, then such a high.
She's back from the dead.
Oh my God, she could have had a funeral because we've all done this where we've all thought about if we died, who would be at our funeral. And we've all like imagined, wouldn't it be kind of funny to like have a funeral and then see like how many people were upset and like how many people would go, and then you just kind of get to peek in and see like, oh.
Do we all think about that and imagine that? I don't know that I have. I try not to think about death because when I was around 7 or 8, I used to think about it a lot in terms of like, what would it be like to die or to be dead? And then it's like, well, when you're dead, you don't have any thoughts. You don't have any.
That's enough.
Experiences. Like you just don't exist. And so I would try to put myself in that mindset of like, and it's almost like how they tell you you're supposed to meditate, where you just completely clear your mind and don't think about any one thing.
You were like, I'm going to die right now.
And so literally I would do that like at school and stuff. And so I would just be like, what is it like to die and to be dead? And so it was very morbid. And so I would think, and I would try to clear my mind and sit there. And like once or twice I did it, and it freaked me the fuck out. I could only manage it for like a couple of seconds at a time, but I immediately went into full-blown panic and was like, oh, no, okay, we can't do that anymore. And so then I had to stop thinking about it. So I don't think about death anymore.
I mean, I don't think about how I would die. I think more about like, oh, I die, but like my spirit's just like kind of walking around. And then I kind of get to just be like, who's at my funeral? I mean, I don't think about it all the time. I can't be the only person that's done that.
I mean, I just don't, because I used to think about what is it like to actually
Oh,
be
I don't
dead.
think about that part. I don't think about actually dying. Just the attention you'd get.
Oh, okay.
Just the attention you'd get.
Just, like how I'm like a little bit of a narcissist.
Yeah.
Just a little bit though.
But
everyone is.
Tell me if you've thought about that. I know other people have. I am not the only psychopath on the planet. It's normal. It's normal.
Do not ask me to normalize this. It's normal.
Out of everything in the world that's been normalized, I feel like this should be normal. It's okay to, you're like, what kind of attention? I want to see all the people that love me. Okay. Anyway, she's kind of iconic for that. Faking her death. The GoFundMe's sketchy as fuck. Yeah. That's the part that's fucked up.
So people have called out that too, and we're like, I'm pretty sure that's like, I think they're wanting to sue her or go after her. They're pursuing some sort of legal action for fraud.
They should.
And she is like swearing up and down, like, I didn't do anything illegal and, it's all by the book or whatever. Like, I don't know.
Well.
But yeah, I thought that was an interesting
What if there was
story,
fine print where it was like, she's not actually dead?
This is an artistic
What if it literally everybody just saw like a headline and then donated, and then all the fine print was like, yeah, like she's just dead to you right now.
Yeah. Her persona is dead.
Yeah, she's dead, but not really. And then no one read it. So that would actually be really fucking funny though. Then I wouldn't be mad. I'd be like,
it's like,
read.
It's like people who order stuff online just by looking at the pictures and the headline of it and don't read the fine print, where it's like, this is not an actual like couch for, $50. This is a miniature replica for a dollhouse or something like that, where it's like, here, read, or like, there's some people that I want to say I read something where people were selling like a PlayStation or an Xbox or something online. I think it was on like eBay or something, but like in the fine print, it literally says, this is not an actual Xbox. You are getting shipped a photo of an Xbox. Like, this is what you're paying for. And people just don't read that stuff. And then they're like, what is this BS? And it's like,
no refunds.
Yeah. And it's like, no, there's no misrepresentation. Like, you ordered this. This is what you got. You just didn't like it.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I guess that
about wraps it up, guys.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we did this random topical quick hits.
Yeah.
Episode. We just kind of were all over the place.
We had a lot to talk about and get off our chests.
Yeah. So, we're definitely going to go see Scream 6 when it comes out.
Fuck yeah.
Because the trailer was announced. They're doing a Scream 6. So definitely look forward to that review, because we'll dedicate a whole episode to that, I'm sure.
Just to the trailer.
And yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So make sure you look at this camera. Make sure that you sometimes you don't. Make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. You can follow us on all the platforms at Waypod, WAYYPOD.
Yep. That's pretty much it.
Hit the notification bell.
Hit the notification bell so you see when we post. And we haven't forgot about the giveaway. We don't know anything about it because we've been gone, so we'll get there later.
Yes.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.